Hello, 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 and welcome back to another season of the Beauties Podcast. We are moving right along, y'all, to season 2 of the Beauties Podcast. This is the first episode. I hope y'all enjoyed season 1. It was a good run, a good 10 episodes. I featured a few guests, a few special guests, and I hope you all enjoyed their content, those episodes, their knowledge. Fun times, good laughs, good joke, all of that. And I hope to continue everything and bring even more in season 2. So we're going to get right into the episode of season 1, y'all. Season 2, episode 1. I know that I do post a lot on my social medias when it's everything Hella Beauties Podcast, and I am at Hella Beauties Podcast on Instagram if you're not yet following. And I do a lot of updates on the podcast, just trying to keep in the loop. And I also have a website, Hella Beauties Podcast /wixsite.com, that I try to update y'all on everything this Hella Beauties Podcast. And I did have another topic for today's episode of the second season, but I had to switch it up a bit because I mentioned early on in season 1 that I want to be very transparent with this podcast, and I'm going to discuss a lot of my life and things that I go through because I know that it can be relatable because we are women, we are mothers, we are wives, and I am all of the above. So I want to bring the real when it comes to this podcast. In recent events, something has transpired within my household that brought awareness to me, and it made me just take a look back. Actually made me cry. Like, I shed a few tears. I had to sit down and pretty much just look at myself as a mother and what I can do different and become a better person and better mother for my children, and hopes that they meet both ways, so that we can come to an understanding and having a better relationship as mother and daughter, mother and son, all of my children, because I have a total of 5 and they all range in ages. So I deal with a lot of different personalities. I have my teenager, I have my preteen, then I have my 7-year-old, I have my 5-year-old, then I have a toddler. So I deal with a lot of personalities, a lot of age groups. Everybody's changing. They want this, they want that, pulling me every which way. So, it can be a lot at times, but I handle it pretty well. I feel like I was built to be a mother, and I enjoy it very well. In season 1, I did an episode with a good friend of mine by the name of Vanessa. He cheated. Now what? If you guys haven't listened to that episode, it's available now on all streaming podcast platforms on season 1. I'm not sure what episode it is, but it's definitely on season 1. He cheated. Now what? And Vanessa is a school teacher. We have been friends for years, over 2 decades, years of friendship. So, we talk all the time, talk about a lot of stuff. It gets personal. And, she is a school teacher. And we was having a conversation one time about, school and the virtual learning and, compromising and, the frustrations of it and what the teachers go through, what the parents go through, what the students going through and all of that. And she has taught multiple grades, so she has dealt with multiple kids, multiple ages, and, dealing with different personalities and, having to teach this grade, this amount, at this educational level, and this grade at this educational level. And she doesn't have children, but she can relate in that way. So we was having a conversation. We was speaking on my preteen age group. And she was just telling me something, just trying to make me aware of things that I may not know about as a parent and what kids are doing or whatever. And, I just remember in that conversation, I told her, well, I pretty much, know my child, because she's not your typical preteen or typical teenager girl. She's not into the boys, into the makeup, into a lot what the teenage girls at this age or even earlier are into. And there's nothing wrong with it if you are, because I was very much into all that at her age, and a little older probably, a little younger. But, she's just not that. And I appreciate that, because I tell her all the time, honey, stay your young self as long as you can, because she's pretty much still a child at heart. Like, she's into cartoon stuff, and she don't want to do makeup, and she's not into the boy thing yet. And it's all good, honey, because stay a child as long as you can, because adulthood, it ain't nothing to rush into, honey. Just a lot of responsibilities, bills, and headaches, okay? And so, excuse me, y'all, I just remember having a conversation with her, and I was just like, I know her. And, this and that. So, fast forward to the day that I'm speaking on, which I changed this whole episode to speak on this topic. Bullying. Online bullying. Okay, so y'all know how y'all just get that feeling like you need to go through something. It pretty much like when you feel like you need to go through your man phone. Like that women's intuition kick in, like he ain't doing something he's supposed to do, so you need to go through his phone. It was pretty much something like that. And something just telling me, I need to be nosy, be a parent, and go through her phone. Because I usually... I'm strict in my own way, but I still give my kids enough rope to hang themselves, and once they hang themselves, I just reel them on back in. Like, I have rules and regulations they have to abide by. I don't let stuff go over easy at all. Like, I take care of my business, but at the same time, I still try to give them freedom to do what they have to do as children. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to be too overbearing over them, because that's when they get loose. And honey, we don't want that. I don't want it. So, I just had to feel I need to go through her phone. And so, to my surprise, when I went through it, her messages, I found something very disturbing, very hurt. It hurt my feelings. It actually made me cry pretty much all that morning. And I had to call, and I woke my mama up out the bed, honey, 4 o'clock in the morning, had a conversation with her about the whole thing, cried to my mama, expressed myself, got on my knees, prayed to God, cried to God. I did all of that, y'all. Because I'm not going to disclose everything that I'm not going to read or say anything that I read. I'm going to start with it. And I'm definitely not going to disclose everything. But in a nutshell, I will just give y'all, just in a nutshell what it's about. Basically bullying, online bullying, cyber bullying. It's very much real. And even though I have seen it, I have read it, children have lost their lives to it. It's not that I didn't think that it'll ever touch my home, because, kids will be kids, and you have kids that bully each other. I had bullies when I was her age and older. This just life, and I hate that. But then it gets serious to the point where some kids can't or won't defend themselves, and then they think of harming themselves. And I feel like the devil attacks at all ages. Like, he doesn't have an age group. He doesn't have an age limit. He attacks, and when he feels like he can play on your feelings, play on your emotions, play on you, get in you, and have you thinking all these crazy things that are not, he gonna attack, and he gonna be all in. And now, my child, Satan, flee. You are not welcome here ever. You are not welcome in my home. You are not welcome around me. You're not welcome around my children. Send you back to the pits of hell where you belong. Jesus, cover us at all costs. In Jesus' name, I plead the blood of Jesus over my family, over myself, and over our home. And I read the messages, and basically she was confronting a child. Not to talk about anything about children, but it is what it is. She was confronting a little girl that she either was the bully or she assumed was one of the bullies, because it was multiple people that was cyberbullying her. And she said some very and baby, when I tell y'all, she checked that girl like it was nobody's business. Very educational. Like, she was using those big words, honey, like those TI words, baby, that I didn't even know that was a part of her vocabulary. Like words that even us grown folks have to look up in the dictionary to see what the real meaning is, baby. I didn't even know she can do that. But baby, she read her very corporate like, okay, I said it like that. And, even though I'm kind of being funny with it, because I have to laugh now not to get myself emotional and cry again, it still was some disturbing things that she added in the conversation that I found very disturbing to me, and I was very hurt as a parent. And just at the fact that she didn't feel like she could come to me and talk to me about anything, or her father, because we got a 2-parent household. I have been with their dad since birth of all of our children. I have a total of 5 children, but we have 4 together. And we have been together since she is our first child together. We have been together since her. So, if you feel like you can't talk to me, because I understand that you can't feel like you can talk to the mama sometimes, but you definitely can talk to your dad, because he the sucker, okay? So you can always talk to him, and they do. They run to him, call for him way more than they call for me. And I'm okay with that, because in times like that, in situations like that, I want to know that they can feel like and trust that they can talk to at least one of us, both of us, and if not both, at least one of us. You know what I'm saying? But with all that being said, I have mentioned before that, I have my teenager and she is my preteen. I might call them both teens at sometimes, but, she's so close to being one that I might say teen. But, they're still in the same category with the attitudes, with not wanting to deal with you. You know how teens act. Y'all know we was once teens, so we know what it is. And I know what to expect. And, honey, I'm going through it now with both of them, okay? But it just hurt my feelings that she didn't feel like she can come talk to me, and I'm like a few steps away in the same house with her. And when her and my son gets quiet and they say that they don't want to talk, I have on multiple occasions asked them, is anything bothering you? Anything that's going on? Anybody mess with you in any kind of way? Whether it's me, whether it's another family member, whether it's your siblings, whether it's somebody on the outside, let me know, tell me. It's okay. And if you don't want to talk to me, talk to God. So we have had those conversations multiple times with both of my children, and even my 7-year-old. I have had that conversation with her. And I know overall this virtual learning can be a bit hard for these children because they're not in class, they're not in school with the educator, and they're at home with us. And honey, how many of us know certain math problems? We don't even be feeling like reading them passages when it comes to reading the English and all math words and all that that they be having going on. Because when my 7-year-old come and say, well, Mom, I need your help, a lot of that stuff I be like, girl, I don't know. And it's just the real. So when I learned that she had gotten cyberbullied and she felt like couldn't come talk to anybody, that hurt me. So that morning I cooked breakfast, and we actually sit down at the table and had a breakfast together as a family. Because, I cook breakfast every morning, okay? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I do this especially because everyone is home working from home. So that is something that I have to do that's mandatory because breakfast is a very important start of the day, and I feel like they need that just to get their day started. And they got to sit there in the front of them computers, so they need to get them some good nourishments in them before they do that. So that morning, I was up 3 o'clock that morning, and I didn't go back to sleep, y'all. I got up, started breakfast at 5. I woke them up at 6. And I actually let them have a free day that day because I felt like we needed to talk. I felt like I need to have a talk with her. And I felt like I need to have a talk with my teenage son as well. Because I just, and then extended to my other children. They was going through things. So I actually went around the table asking everybody, if they was going through anything. We're going to lay it out all on the table right now. I got my Bible, I got my holy oil, and we're going to talk about it. And so that's what we did. And just as a parent, having to go through that, it's not like I ever thought that it wouldn't be me. It's just that it was me. I didn't know how to handle it. I thought of a lot of ways I could handle it. And violence did pop up. I wanted to text. Baby, I want to get ignorant, okay? I'm going to be honest. I want to get ignorant, but I had to be responsible. I had to be the adult. I did reach out to a couple of the students through message, and I just simply said, can you have your parents to call me with my number attached? Got a response back from both people. Everything smoothed over well, honey. I even thought about having a situation where I was going to get on the virtual learning, and I know she have a morning meeting every day, and I was going to be there with the principal, the assistant, the teachers, the counselors, everybody be in the morning meeting, honey. I was going to let it be known it was going to be me on the screen instead of her. But I'm glad it didn't go that far because I was able to fix the situation before it got back to the school, and then it didn't happen during school hours. It was way after school hours. I don't even know if it was a school day, but I wanted to make them aware of it because I wanted them to have a conversation because cyberbullying is very real, and we know a lot of kids have taken their lives over it. So it's nothing to play with. It's something to be very mindful of. And it's just talk to your kids. Be a little nosy. Go through their phone. Go through their messages. Go through their DMs. Go through their messengers. Go through their snaps. And all this other stuff that they may have with this technology. Go through honey, be nosy. Okay? Because you just never know what you may find. Because out of all the things that I could have thought that maybe she had been going through, I would have never thought that because she doesn't give off that. She doesn't, I don't pick that up from her. I don't see that. I wouldn't have known. Had I not went through that phone, I would have known. And God forbid anything worse happening than what happened. She was able to handle herself and protect herself and defend herself. And I was very proud of her, and I was glad that she was able to do that. But all children, let's be honest, they're not able to do that. They don't have their voice. So that's why they take other matters into their hand, and unfortunately they take their lives. And it isn't supposed to be that way. Just as a parent, how do y'all handle this situation? Like I told you, I want to get very ignorant. I thought of a lot of ignorant things to say and do. I really did. But because I went to God about it, I feel like he redirected my thoughts, and he redirected He ordered my steps to his word and made me do the right thing, the godly thing to do. And I handled the situation the correct way instead of the way that I want, the ungodly way, okay? And I was glad for that because I was able to talk to my kids and I was able to tell them, like, look, I don't want to be the type of parent where y'all feel like y'all can't come talk to me about things. And if I'm, I have my days where I'm frustrated, overwhelmed, and I might say, like, ooh, I just want to break y'all. What is, us as parents, we know we do that. What, And I said that I was going to stop doing this. So from that day forward, I vowed to not do that when they ask me something. Even if I'm tired, child, dog tired. I done been up all day because I get up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and pretty much be up and on my feet until my body shuts down around like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening. So if I'm dog tired, if whatever going on, I just hope to continue to be available for my kids to talk to me about anything, whether it's good, bad, happy, or sad. Because, whether we know it or not, we go through things, but they go through things too. And with this virtual learning, we really don't know what extra stress that these kids can get on them. I follow all of my children's school on social media to try to keep up and updated with everything that's going on with them, so I never miss a beat. And I remember being on one of my kids' school pages, and I was reading the post that they made, and I was in the comments, and one of the children was like, what y'all want me to fail? This virtual learning is so hard. I can't do it. And it really made me sad for that child because it's like we don't know what these kids are going through. They're human just like us, and just because we're grown and, we have to take on, and as mothers, we try to be protectors of our kids. We don't want them to go through nothing. We don't want harm to come their way. We don't want them to feel a certain way. We don't want them to hurt. We don't want them to cry. We don't want them to feel sad. We don't want nobody bothering them in no type of way. So to read that child say that, it's like you don't know what these kids are going through with this extra stress that is added. You really don't know. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring this topic to light. This is a very known and talked about topic. Like I said, a lot of children, unfortunately, have taken their life over it. And my heart goes out to their parents and everybody that may be still suffering or continue to suffer from it, or the aftermath of it, whatever you may be going through. And if just check on your kids, okay? Like, I don't know what else to say, but just check on them. Like, if it needed this episode for me to talk about it, for me to get somebody that may have been thinking it, just check on them. Because I'm going to tell y'all, thoughts had crossed my mind about my child. And I kind of like swept it under the rug because I'm thinking I just know her. And it was like, okay, now God was like, now you need to listen. Okay, I'm trying to give you hints. And that may be very well when it was going on because, like I said, it had been went on from the day I found it. So they could have been the day it was going on. And I needed to check on it, and I ignored it. I ignored the signs. I ignored the thoughts. I ignored the feelings. So from this day forward, I'm not ignoring nothing else. And usually when I feel like when God puts something in my mind, I pretty much try to look into it, go after it, and do it because I feel like he wouldn't be putting it in my mind for no reason. So it's something I need to investigate. It's something I need to do. It's something I need to look into, tap into. So, yeah, just talk to y'all kids. Have a conversation no matter the age, honey. Older, grown kids, teenagers, middle schoolers, elementary school age children. Honey, if you can talk to your toddlers, honey, talk to them, honey. Just have a conversation, So, this been episode 1, y'all, of season 2. It was, we kind of got real in this episode. Because it was a conversation that needed to be had. It was something that I wanted to talk about because it's something that happened in my life that was very personal. And it took me to a place that I really didn't want to be as a parent, but it opened my eyes and it helped me realize that it's still ways that I could become a better parent to my children. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's okay with it. And I'm very open to becoming a better parent. I'm open to becoming a better person overall so I can be a better mother, better wife, better daughter, better friend, better sister, better all of the above. Just a better human being. Yeah, y'all. So check out the website, y'all. If y'all ain't checked out the website yet, it is in the link on my main page on any of the podcast platforms that you listen to, whether it's Spotify, Apple, Pocket Podcast. I'm going to bring y'all better content, better episodes, better conversations, more laughs, more special guests, all of that. This has been episode 1 of season 2 of the Beauties Podcast. Bye, y'all.